Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.
And welcome to the show, everyone. Cypher, where are you?
Just got to Portland, Oregon. I was in
Ooh.
we had a show last night and I'm with a comedian named Dave Chappelle. I'm rolling with a comedian named Dave Chappelle.
Well, you know him, huh?
He's my best friend. I'm not his.
Yeah, I've heard
Um
that.
so
Heard. I
so
mean, it's about you
we had a show
specifically.
last night in Edmonton, Canada.
Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Sure.
Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and then we didn't stay there. We got on a plane directly from there to Portland, Oregon.
Was that a plane or a private jet?
Well, private jet is a plane, but it was a private jet.
How's it being private jet life?
The day before, jet life was fun because it was just four of us on the plane. Last night felt like a fucking subway car
It was to the brim.
because there's also a tour bus because some of the dates are close together, but this particular run was like a 16-hour drive, so a lot of people jumped on the jet, and it was packed.
And all of a sudden, it wasn't so sexy time, huh?
Not sexy time.
I think I missed the jet opportunity last week.
Well, how'd you miss a jet up? You
I
got to
think
take a
that-
jet up.
I think there could have been a jet opportunity last week, but I didn't and thus didn't inquire. And we had a WWE event across the country in a place that I just assumed it would have been packed. I wouldn't even thought about it, but it's a holiday weekend, so not all the big wigs traveled,
Right.
which means there
Right.
could be
They wanna
room
chill
for a
with their
jabroni.
families.
Right. Oh, and then then some people traveled with their families, which means me solo dolo could a jabroni like me have hopped on? Well, guess what? It didn't happen. Instead, I was riding back on that coach
He was
from
back on.
San. Yes, if you know that, have we talked about this? There's no worse experience than there's no worse first world problem like you fly out first but have to fly back coach. Same airline, same flight. Oh, it's bad. But Saif, I nailed a great coach seat. I got to tell you, it was
There's no such thing. But what is your version of a great coach seat?
On this particular JetBlue plane.
Yeah.
It was the front row in coach.
Uh-huh.
In the aisle.
Yeah, that's great.
And so the window and middle, I don't think either of them got up once. But if they did, that it's such a big row, they don't even have to bother you. They don't have to bother you. And in the aisle, my feet were out the entire flight, just spread completely as far out as they could go. I got to tell you, it was actually fine.
And you didn't touch the wall.
Fine. I didn't touch.
Oh, there was a seat. There was their wall. No, just a seat in front of you.
No seat. There was just hallway, and then the bathroom was to the left. I was like out in the middle of.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It was kind of clean.
The only problem with that is that you have no storage underneath the seat in front of you. You have to always go up.
And the up was empty. I had my jacket alone in the thing up there because they say those bins are reserved for those couple seats.
I was gonna say that they don't have that in other airlines. They should make sure those are reserved because we have to put our bags up.
Yeah, if you're in the front row of coach, you don't have an option.
Sometimes the front row of coach got some weird fire extinguisher or some shit above you, and you can't put anything up there. What the fuck they doing over there?
Now listen, guys.
Design this shit better.
Before we get to our huge, gigantic guest today, who's going to be here in a minute, let me just say this: I'm in a heap of first world problems this week.
Okay.
Gosh, Saif, I moved, and well, you lived in a rental in New York. It was when you moved, right?
Yeah.
But even that was kind of like a pretty nice rental, right?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah, it was like a high end.
Yeah. I was renting. Yeah.
The rental I'm in, I figured out. I didn't realize it exactly. The rental I'm in, Saif, is like the nicest building, definitely owned by New York slumlords. That makes sense?
Yes.
They have tons of shit. And then this is like their nice Upper West Side one they have. And it's a nicer, space and location, but it's still treated.
Well, their mentality is slumlord.
The mentality is still slumlord. Trust me, I know. I've been in the buildings. I've been on the New York Department of Buildings website for 24 hours. I'm seeing the complaints.
Hold on. You moved in. You just moved in a day ago, and you're already looking how to complain and snitch.
No, I wasn't looking at that. No. Sorry. I wasn't looking for how I can complain. I was looking at what other complaints already exist.
Okay.
Like, do I need to find a way to get the hell out of here? How bad?
You just got there
2 days ago,
and you're trying to find a way out.
But then, right when we make a decision, we've gone back and forth. We picked this place.
Yeah.
Then we didn't want it. Then we decided, fuck it, let's just go. Then we got here and we're like, this is not for us. We got to go. And now, literally, she just texted me a couple hours ago, like, I as long as the baby's safe, we can probably manage here.
What? So many questions.
No, there's a lot on this, but in the meantime, in between time, I mean, you don't keep this man waiting. You know what I mean? Rakim Allah.
What's up, God?
Peace, Joe. How y'all doing, man?
Man,
Rakim, it's an honor to have you here. Can you wait 1 second? I need to ask Rosenberg about his apartment issues.
No problem,
Peter. Imagine I stop a Rakim interview to ask you interviews about your apartment.
20 minutes being like, wait, so what kind? When you say it's a full service building, so Rakim, not that we ever need an excuse to have Rakim on, but I use this as an excuse to get him on, is the fact that Rakim has a special holiday show.
Yeah.
Hosted by yours truly, Cipha Sounds and Rosenberg Juan, along with the legends Special K and Teddy Ted.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
That's next Wednesday, December 10th at SOB's. And this Rakim holiday show is called Requests Only. Ra, what does this mean? By the way, Technician, the DJ, of course, with
yes,
Rakim.
Sir.
How does this Requests Only thing work?
Well, what the fans can do, they can go to a site and request whatever record, their favorite record they want to see and hear, you know what I mean? And hopefully if I remember the words, I'll perform it on stage, you know what I mean?
Hopefully.
Hopefully if I remember the words, we good. But yeah, man, the fans get to pick the set list,
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
that's kind of
up,
dope,
man. So, me and Technician, after we get all of the, requests in, we're gonna take it, from the top and figure out a dope way to implement it into the show, man. So it should be kind of dope.
Wow.
If enough people pick a random enough record, will you take time to go listen to it and remember it?
Indeed, so.
All right, so let's go through this. So Rakim, you do so many different kinds of shows.
Yes.
And we were talking to Aaron last week. We were talking about the legends like yourself and Kane, who are really out there still doing a good amount of shows. If you hit a short one, if they only got enough bread to get Rakim for 15 or 20, what is the mandatory set list that you're hitting when you're only hitting like 5 joints?
That's a hard one. 5 joints, no joke technique. Eric B is president. Know you got soul, paid in full.
That's 5 right there.
Tight, you know what I mean? Usually what me and Tech would do when we short with time, we hit them with like a little medley or something, kind of squeeze, some of the necessary joints in. But yeah,
Right.
that's a hard one to pick, man.
Has Don't Sweat the Technique gotten bigger progressively over the last 30 years? I feel like it has.
Yeah, man. What's dope about that song is it's always on TV. It's always at the games, football, basketball, and what have you, man. So,
Oh, really?
And it's kind of, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Big
commercial. Don't Sweat the Technique. Like, it was in a commercial, I think, recently, right?
A lot of commercials.
Yeah.
It's been in a few.
Oh,
yes, sir. It's been in
Don't
a few.
Sweat the Technique. Okay, I get it.
Sir. Yeah, man. So
I want Know the Ledge.
Yeah, I need Know the Ledge.
But I want you to play the drums.
and do the rhymes at the same time.
And do the rhymes at the same time.
Phil
Come
Collins
on now.
shit.
Come
That-
on,
Phil Collins
you
shit.
can do it.
That's easy, Syph. Come on, man. That's
Rakim,
easy, Syph.
I told this to De La Soul recently, and I'm gonna tell it to you as well.
Peace to De La too. Big up on the new
Peace to
album.
De La Soul, incredible album that's out right now.
Yes.
You in the years of evolving, what I love about you is that you remain and you are pure hip hop. Like your whole essence, your attitude, the
Thank
way
you,
you
my brother.
move, and it is
Thank you, my
it is
brother.
an honor to watch. The artistry alone, we already know you the illest MC ever. The artistry, the songs, all that, just your
Thank you, my brother.
essence is
Man.
hip hop, and that's how I live my life. And I look to you and a couple other people. There's a lot of people who have done hip hop music, but I don't feel their essence every day is hip hop. And when I look at you and when I see you
man.
perform in different places, I feel that way, man. It's an honor to even to know you.
Man, that's humbling words, my brother. I appreciate that, man. You know, I at the end of the day, you know, I just love being me. You know what I mean? And I learned how to express that on stage, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like early in my career, I was trying to perform, and you know, I learned. I watched a lot of the artists that's, you know, that brings mad energy to the stage, and you know what I mean, some dance, some, you know, just, and I ain't that, you know what I mean. So I had
Mhm.
to, you know, kind of embrace, you know, who I am, man, and let that show on stage, man. So
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate them words, man.
It's
Word
the
up.
only way to be. You have to be true to yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Um,
sir.
Syph, do you remember a couple years ago, Rakim, you gave me one of the great moments of my life. This is how to echo Syph's sentiment while we have you, how meaningful you are to those of us who love hip hop. Syph, you remember when we watched the video of Summer Jam a couple years ago and Rakim did the old school set? And you know, Summer Jam for me over the last few years, it's not what it once was, but what I look forward to is the
Right.
moments when we have people I do love that bless the stage, right?
Wow.
And so I get to enjoy that. And I was on the side of the stage, and when you said, I was like the first person you saw, and you came over and you gave me a big dap and hug. Yo,
No
Syph
doubt.
and I watched that back like 5 times. I'm like, yo, Rakim giving me dap on stage.
No
Like that
doubt.
alone, that alone, man. Like just to echo it, you are the
Yeah,
epitome of this whole thing.
Thank you, man.
how do you feel knowing that that's how some people react to you when they see you? Like it's one of the illest moments of their lives, and you just like walking on stage.
I mean, without letting it get to me, that's what keeps me going, man. You know what I mean? And you know, hearing them, you know, words from y'all, man. You know what I mean? You know, y'all embody, you know, what this is, man. You know what I mean? Y'all, the same thing with y'all. Y'all been representing this from day one. People look up to y'all's opinion. You know what I mean? Y'all kind of help people navigate through the culture. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. When I see y'all, man, and you know, the love and respect, you know, that I have for y'all, you know, I don't care where I see y'all at, what I'm doing. I'm gonna make sure I greet y'all and say peace. You know what I mean? And you know, that's how you do when you see real people, man.
I think I met your daughter once. You weren't
My daughter
around.
Destiny.
Destiny. And she was like, yo, I'm Rakim's daughter. And I'm like, you're royalty. You are a princess. Like,
Man.
you are what I don't know where we are. You are now protected.
She gonna melt when I tell her that, man. You know what I mean?
No, seriously, bro.
And that's that respect. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, man. We understand what it is, and you know, myself, I understand how it is in this culture, specifically to be able to get that love. You know,
Yeah.
after all these years, man. So you know, we count our blessings. You know, and my family understands it too. They count them with me every night. Word up.
When you've had these interactions with other people, there's a famous one from a couple of years ago of backstage and you ran into Jay-Z.
Wow. Yes,
Backstage.
sir.
That video moved around a lot because
Wow.
Hove looks like he's moving very,
Oh yeah. I
you know,
remember
with
this.
he's moving with purpose
Purpose.
backstage,
Intention.
and
Yeah.
then he stops, and he just stops in his tracks and embraces you. Um, you know, listen, Jay is Jay, man, and
Peace of
Rakim is
Hove.
Rakim. What
Peace of Hove.
what are those interactions like? Can you recall like what he says in moments like that? And it just must be an amazing thing to see these two sort of Mount Rushmore people collide like that.
Yo, man, Jay is one of my favorite MCs, man. You know what I mean? And to watch his hustle game and how he, pushed the culture, man, and made artists become more business accountable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I respect him highly for that. You know what I mean? And his artistry, speaks for itself, man. He's one of my favorite artists. I seen we met each other back in the day, but we only seen each other, periodically, through time, man. So when I seen him that day, haven't seen him in a while, and it was like the same thing. Like we walking, and then we both like seeing each other at the same time, and much respect. You know what I mean? I wanted to let him know, how I felt about what he was doing, and at the same time, he let me know, how he felt, as far as, what I contributed to the game, man, contributed to the game, man. So, moments like that I live for, and I hold them, close, man, because, this is what it's all about, man. When real see real, and the feedback is very important, man. So, big up the whole man, and hold up, man.
Well, Syph, did you see this one though? So by the way, I want to try Syph for to bother to get a hold of Steve Stout because I want us to be able to do something at the Paid in Full Foundation. I love what they're doing, and
Dope, dope.
I don't know, Syph, if you saw what happened at the Paid in Full Foundation Hip Hop Grandmaster Awards in October at the Bellagio. But
Yes,
but
yes.
but hold on. George Clinton randomly starts busting out the lyrics to Follow the Leader.
What?
What was did this stop you in your tracks? Like
To
was that
follow the leader?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Wow.
It's
What was
dope.
that? What did you think when you saw that?
It's that's one of the things that let me know my impact, man. I'm a humble cat, like I said, man. I try not to let things get to me, but it's what keep me going, man. And that right there, George Clinton. I grew up, sharing rooms with my brother Stevie Blast, man, and he was if not the biggest George Clinton fan in the world, man. The room was psychedelic. We had nets coming out the ceiling, glow in the dark posters. We had, big Parliament funkadelic, signs and Parliament albums, pasted to the walls, crazy, man. My brother cut the lights off. It was like 42nd Street in the room, man.
Wow.
And from listening to George Clinton, at first I didn't understand it, but hearing it every night, you learn quick. And just always, I looked at George Clinton like, like a zebra, or excuse me, like a unicorn, man. You know what I mean? Like way out the box. His music, his art was so different. It's like you had to try to figure out who he was before you could understand his music. So to see that, man, the most humbling thing, an artist can get, man, to see one of, the artists that he admired, grew up on, and really understands, who that artist is, man. For him to give it back to me like that is incredible. I met George back in the day, and he told me, he said, "Yo, Rob, man," he said, "when I go out on tour, he said, if my band can't spit Follow the Leader, they can't go." I said, "Yo, come on, man, stop playing." He jumped on the phone and started calling people. He said, "Yo, what's the laws to get on the tour bus?" And they say, "Oh yeah, you got to spit Follow the Leader." You know what I mean?
What?
So incredible, man. I guess George said if you a musician you should be able to say this rhyme right here with the, you know, syncopations and the, you know what I mean? So, you know,
Wow.
incredible, man, you know, to know that, man.
If
You
they
know,
can't
it,
spit,
like I
follow
said,
the leader.
yes, sir, man. You
Wow,
know,
that's
it
incredible.
kind of lets me know, you know, what I did, man. Word
But
up.
but that's wild too, because when you think about it, Ra, I mean, when Follow the Leader came out, George was already, in his mid 40s,
Mm,
late 40s. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like that wasn't necessarily the crowd who was always aware of everything that was happening in hip
Yeah,
hop at that
Right.
time.
I was thinking that
Right.
too, because also we think, funk and all that stopped and then hip hop started. So we don't think they overlapped into hip hop.
Right.
But why wouldn't they? You know what I mean?
Of course they
Wait, he
did,
was in his
right?
late 40s. So how old is he now? 80?
He's in his
Yeah,
early 80s.
George is up there, man. George is up there.
Wow.
Look, and he looked like
Still
he about
playing.
55.
Yeah,
I
he's still out
know.
Word
there.
up. You know what I mean? And again, man, still inspiring in ways that he, you know, don't even understand, man. You know, he's up there in age. He's on tour more than, you know, your average 25-year-old, man. And don't look like he missing a beat, man. So it's, you know, still inspiring to know him and watch him and to understand what he done
Well,
for the genre.
So we obviously, when we interviewed you the first time at Barclays Center, we did. If you've never heard it, you should go back and maybe we'll re-release it if people out there haven't heard it. But we
Cool.
did the whole autobiographical early sort of run of your. But the last 25, 30 years has been fascinating also. And I'm curious, when did you realize, like, oh, I'm not old. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, I'm still a young man. I got to keep going, because I remember when, for example, the 18th Letter and Book of Life came out, that was considered like, oh, Rakim's coming back. You know what I mean? And that was only you were very young. Like, that
Right,
was
right.
you were 12 years into your career, and
Word up.
because hip hop was so young, you seemed like this super veteran. So by the time you jump even further, let's jump to like Classic. Now, when Classic comes out another 10
Right.
years after that, it's like, oh man, Rakim's. Whew. At some point along the way, it seems like you figured out, nah, bro, I'm an artist. I'm going to keep doing this. This is what I do. Was there a specific moment? Did you always know you would just continue playing and performing forever?
Nah, I think it was a few things that contributed to um me still being inspired, man. And one of them is, you know, I know my career had a lot of setbacks as far as timing on albums and releases, you know, things like that,
Mhm.
man. But you know, that was business, you know, behind the scene, you know, seeing things that was going on, you know, out of my control. But you know, as time went on, you know, that's what you hear in your ear. Yo, you still rapping, you still gonna do an album, and you know, you hear the little, you know, tweeting in your ear and all that. You know, you can't do it again, or you know, you still, and that inspires me, man. I love, you know, proving people wrong and
Yeah.
proving myself right. You know what I mean? You know, I get up every day. You know, I hear music, I still feel the same way that I did when I was 25. You know what I
Right.
mean? When I hear a beat, you know what I mean? A beat might come on a commercial playing, and I'm in my head, I might be freestyling or just, you know what I mean, in another world, man. And it's the same feeling, you know, that I had when I was young, man. So, you know, waking up every day, hearing, you know, what you can't do, what a older artist ain't supposed to do, and people waiting for me to fall. You know, I refuse to do that, man. Word up.
It's also got to
Damn,
be
man.
crazy because we've been, there's been so many deaths, obviously, in hip hop over the last few years. Like, just among
Yes,
the people that we all know, we lost
yes,
Mr. C,
yes,
we lost Clark, like Fat Man Scoop. This is all just in the recent past.
In a recent
yeah,
one.
This is
yeah,
I can't even imagine, Raw, like how many people who we may not even know who were just around,
right,
but maybe didn't do as well, weren't as able to take care of themselves.
right,
You've always seemed like very healthy Have you always, has that always been sort of a top of mind thing for you, is making sure you age the right way and are around for a long time?
I think some of that is moms and pops. They gave me some good genes, you know what I mean? But yeah, at the same time, you got to be conscious of, what's important. I always try to be, as conscious about that as possible, man. The things I do, the things I eat, shit, the things I say, you know what I mean? The way I feel, you know what I mean? I learned a long time ago that I was, bitter. It's always bitter. And I learned bitter, causes stress.
Mm,
So, I had to learn, it's not just, saying, you're gonna feel a certain way. It's about really understanding how you feel, like, being bitter about things that you don't, really have control about, stress you out every day. So,
facts.
I had to learn to make sure that I'm at peace and try to live according to, you know, what what I feel is right, or what the norm is, man. I'm not an angel. You know what I mean? I like to enjoy myself, but I make sure it's never, nothing that could, you know, change, who I am, man. It's important to try not to get caught up in, what's going on out there today. And yeah, man, to my young artists, listeners, my old artists and listeners, man. Yeah, man, listen, man. Let's try to be a little more conscious of what we doing, how we living, and what we, putting into our body, especially, with all this, fake food going on, all this uh, you know, chemical warfare, we can call it. You know what I mean? We gotta be very conscious of what we doing, man. So I try to, uh, be as conscious as possible, man, without putting no poisons in my body. You know what I mean? And I like looking young, man. You know what I mean? It look
It
good.
suits
It
you.
look
It
good when
suits
I
you.
get up in the mirror, man. You know what I mean? In the morning, and you know what I mean? It feel good to look young, man. So
Now
I love.
this is
For
between
sure.
us. No, we're not
Yes,
gonna tell
sir.
nobody. This is between you, me, and Rosenberg, because
Yes, sir.
we
We
all
right here,
getting up
just
there a
us.
little bit in the
It's us.
age level where sometimes on your face there might be what we might call little gray pockets.
Facts.
How do you handle the gray? Do you hit her with the little
Yeah. You know what I mean? A little good every now and
little
then, man.
hey,
You heard?
little
You little, you know what I mean? And at the same time, you gotta let a little bit grow too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I heard it's good for the body, man. My pops used to call it wise wisdom,
uh-huh.
you know what I mean, showing and things of that nature, man. So, you gotta embrace it a little bit, but at the same time, you know what I mean, we wanna
Yeah,
present
keep it
ourselves
down.
in a certain way, you heard?
Yeah, see, I think that's a great point, though, Rob, because yeah, Syph and I always talk about there's a
This is
balance.
an old man podcast.
Yeah, this is
Word
all,
is ball.
you don't have to you don't have to be in denial of aging,
That's
right?
right, man.
And
That's
you
right.
also, but there are some young cats out there who I've seen. And by the way, this is particularly an issue in my opinion with black dudes, because if you're a
Right.
black dude and you let the whole gray go, it's even more stark than if you have a tan, beige white skin.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there are artists I know out there who went the full white beard and they're in their early 40s. And I'm like, while I feel you, it is what happened naturally.
And they're
It's almost
embracing it.
you're embracing it, but it's almost not representing you correctly either, because it's making
Right,
you look
right.
70.
60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
65, 70 years
But
old.
you got on young man clothes.
But you're living young man life, and you're still moving
Right.
around, and you're still,
Right.
you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to hit it with the look.
Yeah, I mean, little, he take about, 40 seconds, man.
40
You heard?
seconds, hit it out.
Word up.
Now
But
you
yeah,
said
man.
you said something that I think was striking, for two reasons. One, because I've never seen you appear bitter in the way that you carried yourself. I think this is maybe a learning moment for us and other people. How someone who is a master of their craft, literally considered, if not the greatest, one of the greatest to ever do it, has received props from every other important person that there is. What do you attribute the bitterness to? Was it simply as simple as, damn, yes, I'm Rakim Allah, yes, I'm all this, but I don't have the same that Eminem has. I don't have the same that Jay-Z has. Understand, how could someone as accomplished as you ever feel bitter about anything?
Nah, it was never, over material things. I'm not a, material person. My bitterness was what I thought was normal. Growing up, I thought I was supposed to be bitter. You know what I mean? You look at things a certain way, and sometimes, growing up, we tend to look at a lot of the negative things. You know what I mean? And I guess I was focused on a lot of negative things, young. Um, I guess my mom's said it best one day. I walked into the room and she was like, she said, what's wrong with your eyebrows? I was like, nothing wrong with my eyebrows. You know what I mean? I ain't got to say nothing else. She was like, what's wrong with your face? So then, what I mean? The eyebrows came up and I said, nothing, Mom. She said, well, your eyebrows say a lot. You know what I mean? It's like you got something on your mind. And just a regular day, I thought I was just, but, I heard her voice, constantly after that. What's wrong? Fix your eyebrows. And it let me know.
How old were you when she said that to you?
Man, I was like, 35.
35.
You know what I mean? Young 30s.
Young.
You know what I mean? Young 30s.
Moms can still school you.
The word is born. Like, what's wrong? Fix your face, man. You know what I mean? It can't be that bad. You know what I mean? So I started realizing, like, my facial expression said a lot about what I was thinking and how I was feeling. And another thing, right quick, I remember my kids, I used to get, upset because they used to always go to their mother to ask some things, and then she comes straight to me to ask me the same thing they asked her. So I'm like, yo, why don't they get the process? Why don't they just come to me? She said, well, they don't like coming to you because your face. I said, well, what's wrong with my face?
Wow.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what's wrong with my face? She was like, that right there. I'm like, yo, come on. So my kids would come to me and I would consciously know, like, Rob, fix your face, man. So they would ask what they want to ask without no feelings. You know what I mean? So I had to learn to, not be bitter about everything, man.
So it could, whatever it was,
yes,
because your mom, you at 35 years old, means that your mom at that point, for like 15, 20 years, has been walking around when people find out what her son does. She's like, my son, he's an artist. Oh, who is it? It's Rakim. People are going, what? And so for her to then see that you're bitter, she must have been like, well, what is there to be bitter about? She must have been so proud of you to not even understand what you could have been bitter about.
Hold up. And it woke me up, you know what I mean? And it's things like that to kind of, let me know, like I said, sometimes take people on the outside to kind of, see what's going on. And sometimes, if you listen and pay attention to the signs, you'll learn something, man. But again, man, I thought just, regular way of life, man. I woke up and
that was your normal.
That was it. Word is born. That was it. And I'm in the street, always in the street by myself. I used to always move by myself. And, it was just the way the streets made me, man. But again, I realized that I was focusing on the negative, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Drive through
can't do that.
drive, you know what I mean? Drive through the hood, you get out at the bodega, might be, 10, 12, people in front of the bodega. You get out, you ready for that. You know what I mean? And that was the mode every day. You know what I mean? But and you realize that, like, come on, bro. You know
No,
what I
yeah,
mean?
life. Those are life lessons, and also we don't know. You're not like a guy that's on social media every day, so we don't know about your personal life 100%. We just know about what we see on the records and album covers and videos, and you always seem somewhat of a loner, but very introspective, and obviously it comes across in the rhymes. But yeah, man, you gotta. I'm the same way, you know. I'm sure Peter got some of the same traits. Like sometimes you just the negative energy just be poking in, but now I know how to fight it. Now I'm like, what?
Yes, sir.
I'm having a great time. What
There
are
you
you
go.
talking about?
There you go. That's what, and that's what it's all about, man. To, you know, not get caught up in, you know, the negativity that's around us, because it's just as much, you know, good energy that's around us at the same time. Even if it's just you, you know what I mean. You gotta realize that, because soon as you commit and let that other energy supersede, you know, you, and you just like them. So, you know, you had to, you
Well,
know, I had to learn.
that comes
I had
from
to learn that to stay positive regardless to what I'm around. You know.
that comes from my 5% training, which a lot of it, you know, the reason why I became a 5%er when I was a very young man was from people like you and a lot of other artists.
Mm.
We know who they is. They put out a lot of things to make us have negative energy, right?
Indeed.
So if we walking around being negative all the time, we letting them control us, and I don't want that.
That's right.
So that's when I start. Oh no, why would they put this on TV? Why would they have this billboard up? They want us to get these. They know how to spark that negative energy in the brain.
Indeed.
So as a grown man, I know how to fight it, but also like we live in this world, we gotta get through it. Or we can't be, living in a cave, just mocking the 10% every day. We gotta get up and work.
Yeah, and as one of the dumb, deaf, and blind, I appreciate that side. Now, now,
no, he's learning.
Well, yeah, I'm not the wicked, but I could be dumb, deaf, and blind. But no, like it's now, like even this week, for example. So my wife, what Cipha and I were talking about when you jumped on, we moved to a place that we know is temporary, but we needed a bigger spot with the baby, and now we got here and we're like, we don't know if we want to be here. We got boxes everywhere. We're unsettled about what the future holds, and if I don't stop and reset over and over again and just go, wait a second, it's just stuff. And if it doesn't work out and we got to leave, and I don't mean to sound privileged here, because I know there are people listening who are, struggling to have money, but I have a dollar in my pocket, and it's just money. If I lose money, we're going to be, it's all okay at the end of the day. But it wires like literally multiple times a day, because I can easily feel, in this case, it's more like when you have mess around you, it can quickly make you feel like, what's happening here? And then it's like, breathe, bro. This is all it is all what it is. We're here. We're talking to Rakim. We're gonna go to SOBs next week. I'm gonna force Rakim to perform when I'm flowing. It's gonna be amazing.
I got you on that, Pete.
No, I don't want to waste that pick though, because I want to make sure if I come to you with something random, I got to think long and hard, because
all right.
You got that the 18th Letter album has a lot of great stuff on there. Obviously, Guess Who's Back did really well. Relatively well. That was the commercial hit, if you will. Wait, was that Clark too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, rest in peace, Clark, man.
Word is bone.
What a joint.
Respected him big time.
Yeah, man. One of the true purveyors of the culture.
Yes,
such a good man. Do you, when you talked about mistiming of things and things of that nature, what is your view looking back on 18th Letter? Do you look at it positively? Because like it really does. It's got a lot of great joints on it. It has joints that you certainly add to the greatest hits list of Rakim. How do you view that?
Oh, that album was it was important to me, man. Again, going through can he do it? Is it too late? Is an artist of your age supposed to be, you know what I mean? So, you know,
Crazy.
going
That's
going
so
through all of
wild.
that.
Hold on, I'm gonna get your age when you dropped. That was 97.
Born God. Yeah.
You were barely 30 years old, not even 29.
Right?
What?
That's so crazy. And
So,
they
you
were
know what I
saying
mean?
you were old back then.
Word up. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the setbacks in my career with the, you know, the business, you know, being a little suspect and me not releasing material, you know, when I should have, you know, that contributed to that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was, you know, we did a little, you know, the interview on the album kind of put things in perspective to give people an idea what I was going through and you know what was up. And also how I felt, you know what I mean? But you know, important album for me, man. You know, I was waiting to, you know, make my comeback. I knew the weight of it, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean, just anxious, man, to you know let my voice be heard and show that,
That is
you know, I still
crazy.
do what I do. Word up.
It's so crazy the psychological the psychology of it, where you were so young, but it was a different era in hip hop in the game,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
like, oh man, is Rakim good? Now we look at you like, nah, Rakim's doing tons of shows. You could go see Rakim. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you do a lot of
Right.
shows, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
he
it's
got
not impossible to go see Rakim,
Not
and
at all.
it's probably more impossible to see the whole Wu Tang. Um, but at that time, it was like, oh man, it's the return, it's the comeback. It's gonna be okay? Is it gonna live up
Right.
to the expectations? Now we're like,
Right.
what are you talking about? It's
Wait, Syph,
Rakim.
how about this? How about this? I got more context to blow your mind. Don't Sweat the Technique came out in June of 92. Okay. The 18th letter came out November 4th, 97.
Right,
Mm.
5 years.
That is significantly less than Cardi B just was between albums.
Wow.
Significantly less. Now,
Wow.
Cardi is the best example I can remember of people going, oh my God, is she ever going to drop again? This is taking so long. What's happening? And by the way, props to Cardi, because in the end, it's done really well and people love
No
the
doubt.
album. Like,
No doubt.
that's an unbelievable amount of pressure that she came back with.
That's right. That's right.
Grammys on the first one, all of that, 7 years later, and the new album's great.
Peter.
No
Peter.
doubt. I know what she went through. You know what I mean? So big up to Cardi. Word up.
It's
Peter,
a long. That's
Peter,
yes.
Peter.
Go ahead.
Peter, our fans,
They don't care. I know.
not that they don't care. No one thought Cardi B would be mentioned on the Rakim episode. No disrespect. No disrespect. Bro, nobody thought
Not at
that.
all.
But
And,
listen,
and
it's a fair
I
comp.
love Cardi too, man. I love you. You can't
I love
you
it
can't
too.
not. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I left Hot 97 in 2015. Cardi B to me like popped the day I left. So I have a clear indication of like what happened after I left Hot 97, like what became, the norm. And
Right.
Cardi B's like the staple for me. But like
Word.
our audience is nerd hip hop nerd niche fans. And they're gonna be on the comments like, why are you mentioning Cardi B? We don't want to talk about record.
Well, listen. Well, if you know what the funny thing is, here's what I'll push back to you again, though. Cardi now, relative to a lot of what's going on, is kind of a traditional rapper. Like she's a pretty straightforward New York
of the music that's going on nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
for real.
She's a pretty straight ahead, New York rapper. And I just think it's funny because that gap when Rakim came back out in 97, this was after all the Dr. Dre rumors. This was after all the bootleg Syph. I remember I had the bootleg for New York Alley. All of those bootlegs were at the record store. And is this one produced by Dre? And what's going to happen? And now to look back and see that window was only 5 years. Guys, at our age, 5 years is a blink at this point. Syph, you and I have been back doing the podcast for more than 5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. But listen, he's here, man.
And I look at the album cover. You're so young on the album cover for 18th Letter.
Word up, man. Word up.
That
You
must
know
You
be
what I
start
mean?
rapping now at 30.
yeah.
Facts.
Wait, what is it
Oh.
like? Like, what do you go like? You ever go to the supermarket and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You personally,
Word up.
it must be weird that like you could walk around and live a normal life and nobody recognize you, and then the people that do recognize you go fucking crazy.
No, you know what it's like? Rakim is like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America when he goes to the St. John's game.
Exactly.
People are like, oh my God.
Word up.
There's
Word
probably
up.
just
Hey, yo.
regular white people
Hey.
walking around, and you're just a guy in the neighborhood at the stores, Whole Foods, and then a 40-year-old black dude will walk in and be like, oh.
Word up. And everybody else is looking like, who's he?
Yeah, who's this guy?
But you know what I mean? But yeah, it's funny because where I'm at, I kind of pick this area because I can move around. I like doing
Yeah.
things. I go to stores. I go to, my favorite store is Lowe's. Big up to Lowe's.
I was gonna say Home Depot. You go to Lowe's.
It's a favorite store. You know what I mean? In it 2-3 times a week. But I kind of pick this area because I can move around by myself. I go where I want without too
Right.
much people noticing who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is that. You know what I mean? I
Right.
walk past 100 people and that 101 person like, yo, it's the God, yo. We taking pictures. We in the store. We flicking it up. We talking. You know what I mean? And people looking like. So yeah, man. It's dope that I can kind of do my thing, man. But
and
I
you don't mind? You don't mind? Your ego doesn't mind moving around and people don't notice who you are? You like it?
Nah, I love it. I love it, man. Because it wasn't like that where I was before I moved here, man.
Right.
I tell people all the time, the funny thing is, I do my own thing at the crib. I'm hands on. I cut the grass. I paint. You know what I mean? I plant trees. I trim. I do everything in the crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be at the house, fully, in my lawnmower again. Something happened. I got to shoot the lows. But I get in Lowe's, I got the old raggedy Timbs on and the raggedy jeans and the hoodie with the holes in it and the raggedy hat with the lint balls in it. People looking at me like, right? You know what I mean? You good, God?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I seen the God in Lowe's, man. He smoking something, man. You know what I mean? Nah, man. I'm cutting grass, baby. You know what I mean? So, I remember, man, I used to have to go in the house, freshen up and get dressed just to go to Lowe's to get a lawnmower blade or something, man. So I said, yeah, man, I gotta get out of here. So I love it out here, man. I can go down to Lowe's with the raggedy Timbs on and the lint ball hat. And it's good. They know what I'm doing out here, you know what I mean?
That is so funny and
Yeah,
perfect.
I
I
love
get
man.
it.
I love it. Word up. I love it,
Bro,
man.
I literally just painted my own garage, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
man.
paint. I never painted in my life.
You did it.
I painted my garage.
Hey, yo, and you felt good when you finished, right?
Incredible.
Backed up, looked at it, you know what I mean? Mind your work, pulled the camera out like, yeah.
Bro, it was
It's
a
the best
dirty
feeling, man.
It was, since I bought the house, it was white and dirty, filthy all over the place. I painted the whole garage black. I trimmed it with the blue tape. And I never painted before. I fucked up a lot, but it's a garage, so who cares? But I literally feel like a man. Like I painted the garage. Like don't ever talk to me no kind of way, bro.
Best feeling,
man.
Best feeling, man. You know what I mean? You appreciate it better. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like I did my own studio, painted my own studio, put the soundproofing. I did everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's your studio you're in?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were in a Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah, man. They got the curry. We got the curry in. Yeah, man. It's the studio, man. You know what I mean?
That's great, bro.
And this is just a short ride from your house?
Yeah, it's across the yard. Hold up.
Across the yard. Well, I know it's a big property though, because his manager hit me. He was like, "Yo, he's on the way. He just got in the golf cart to head to the studio."
Yeah, it's cold today. I had to put the golf cart up, man. I had to start up one of the cars to come over here today, man.
Yo, but I heard that in the random part of the world that you live in, you also are randomly like 10 minutes away from G-Rap.
Word up. It's crazy.
Coincidence?
Word up. Had no idea. Word up.
What?
Hey, yo, listen. I seen G-Rap in BJ's.
Wait,
Nah,
Yo,
bro.
wait.
word
There's
is
two
bomb.
different BJ's. BJ's the
Yo,
superstore or BJ's the restaurant?
the superstore.
Okay. You
Superstore,
saw
baby.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
Coogee rapping BJ's.
hey, yo, you know, him and his daughter. I'm in there dolo. So I'm walking. I see G, and G don't know I'm out there. This is like the first year I came out here. So I walk up, I see G. I'm like, yo, G, what up? G looked at me, man. We busted out laughing, and you know what I mean? Let him know, you know, I'm up there and all that. We chopped it up, man. But yeah, G is up here. You know, I heard a few more people up here too, man. But nice spot, man. You know, close to New York.
Yeah,
You know,
close enough that you could run in, run out, hit that, like
quick.
you can just pop in, pop out. You could drive
Yes,
home
sir.
after SOBs.
Indeed, so.
So
Hold on,
that's
You know, it's funny. I was saying that those people that don't recognize you in Lowe's or whatever, it's funny because they know who you are, and they'll play your music and even spit the rhymes,
And don't know that's
but
me.
might not even know it's you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Getting the 2x4s and
Like
the
paid in
nails and the
full, paid in full, and Eric B for president. Even like I ain't no joke. Like those will play at white weddings. You know what I'm saying? Like those are classic songs. Maybe
Well,
not
and
18th letter. Maybe
don't
not Saga Continues.
right.
no, but don't sweat the technique's a great example. No, I know the Ledge, the Truth Hurts record.
Oh, Truth Hurt. Yeah, I just met her recently.
Dope. Yeah, man. Big up to her too, man. Dope person, man.
How'd
Had
that
the
come to be? Was that a label? Was that was a Universal thing, or how'd that come to be?
That was Dre, right?
That was
Or
Dre's
Dre?
artist.
Dre.
Yeah, that was Dre's artist, and it was dope. I was out there at the studio with Dre, and she was in another room, and Dre was like, "Yo, come here, I want you to hear something." So I went in the room. The track was playing, and there was a couple people in there writing a song. So, you know, I heard the track. I was like, yo, you know, Dre, save me 16 on here. And, you know, we left it at that. We walked out the room. And I think the next day, he was like, Rod, I got something for you. And he gave me the track and a jar of some Kush. Went back to the hotel, put work in, man, came back the next day, and that was that. Word up.
Yo, that's wild, man. That's in the era of so that ended up coming out in the late 90s, but this was when you were having the Dr. Dre moment and you were around a lot working on stuff.
Yeah, what was that? Like, I think that was 2001.
That Truth Hurts that late? Is it that late?
Yeah, 2001, 2002.
So what year was the first year you were around Dre? How far back was that?
Around 2001, I think, when we first started working on that project.
Damn. So 18th letter you said was 97 or the end of 97, right? Peter?
97.
Yeah.
And then 97. And then still 3 more years
Yeah.
before you get with Dre.
And
What
but
a
I feel
life.
like the Dre rumors had been around since even before that. Like that there's gonna be a Dre Rakim thing. I felt like that had been out there for a long time.
You know
Before-
what? They asked Dre on an interview years before that.
Oh, yes. I remember this.
What artists, would he like to work with? And he said Rakim.
I remember that. That's
And,
what started it. But bro, everything
facts.
used to move much slower back then, Rosenberg.
It really did.
Like
Yeah.
wherever Dre said that, maybe it was a magazine or some TV interview.
Yeah.
You know, the internet today, you could connect that next day if somebody said something like that.
Facts.
Back then, it was like you got to find somebody that knows somebody that might be able to link you.
Hold up.
It's just crazy. We just talked to Eric Sermon. Literally told us. He said when he was in with Dre, he was saying it's a crazy feeling. Like you work on stuff and you leave and you just have no idea what is ever going to happen. And like, you know, he has joints that are gone. Like they happened. And you know, he didn't say it bitterly at all, but like, man, I wish some of them had just been let go. Like just there was heat there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Dre is a perfectionist, and like when I was at his house recently, man, a couple months back, and not to let no cats out the bag or nothing. Yeah, I ain't. But
That's
yeah, I was
one
at
that nobody's
Just us.
listening.
yeah,
Just
but yeah, I was at his kid not too long ago, man, and Dre got you know his 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 library is bananas. But what songs he wants to come out and when is is an enigma, man. You know what I mean? But he got millions and millions of beats. Doc is, he's definitely he probably in the studio right now, man. Making beats, man. So
yeah,
big
that's a
up,
great life to be that
yeah, bro.
rich and still just want to make beats. Nah, they're not coming out, but I just love making them.
I just can't imagine what's there though, too, in terms of songs that are complete, basically. You
Yeah,
know, we know there's Rakim stuff. We know there's Eminem stuff. We know there's, probably Hove stuff. But like we don't even know all the people that have been there and spent time. Like it's just it's crazy to think about. Did you I think of oh no. That's
Oh,
well, we got to like 1 hour
this is
and
the
oh, he's back.
they're killing
Was,
me, man.
was someone
My
calling you?
manager.
Oh,
Oh,
it's he hit me
I,
too. Did we do something?
nah, I don't know if I don't know.
I'll
I just
text
hung
him.
up on him. He'd be all
maybe you got another interview.
right.
Maybe there's two other old hip hop heads you got to talk to.
I just texted him.
Yeah, he'd be all right. He
I
good.
feel like we from the time I was young already, you were Rakim. And like as we pointed out, by 97, it's like, oh, he's coming back. Oh my God. Did you feel like after Paid in Full or Follow the Leader, like at what point did people in the industry and other artists sort of start treating you with a certain level of reverence? Because certainly by the time we were in the game, it was like a deferential sort of treatment of Rakim.
Yeah.
Like when did that start happening that people were like, oh man, you're different. Oh, you're special.
Oh man. That's a good question, man. After the first album, um, people, kind of let me know that, my material was a little different. You know what I mean? My style was a little different. Um, Second and third album, I felt was me competing against myself. And I took it like that. You know what I mean? I don't think I really competed to what was going on at the time. I always kind of did my own thing.
Mhm.
But I think it took a little while for people to understand, I was doing that on purpose. You know what I mean? I think it took them a little while to realize I was, going left on purpose. The way I rhyme, period. You know what I mean? The things I spoke about, the way I rhymed and things of that nature. I think for some people, it took them a little while to realize, what I was doing. And I started noticing, the love, from my peers, which was odd, you know what I mean? Hip hop artists didn't like to show other hip hop artists love, you know what I mean?
Really?
Around them years, yeah, you know what I mean? It
Yeah, I
took a
guess back
while for
then.
artists to start networking together and
Right.
appreciating,
Right.
you know what I mean, each other, man. Back in the day, and that's another thing, man. You know, I used to put my little, 130 pounds on, whoever was in the area, man. Like It didn't matter if you was a rapper or if you was, you know, in the hood. It was just the way of the street. You know what I mean? It was the way I was doing things, man. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
used to look at, you know, some artists, you know what I mean, little sideways or whatever. And it was nothing personal. It was just,
Yeah, where we come from.
yeah, man. And which was stupid. But again, we live and we learn and we mature and we realize like, you know, what this is, man. But yeah, I used to, you know, give people in the industry the same energy I gave, you know, people in the street, man. But yeah, it was a little different back then for, you know, artists to,
Give him a little knowledge and a little wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
you know what I mean?
Give him
Word
that
is
one.
born.
But yo, but
Word is
Rod, it's crazy that we could talk to you right now and such at a casual level, and we're talking about lows and all this stuff. But you literally, like you changed everything in what 86. Like people go, hip hop used to sound like this, and then this thing happened, and now hip hop sounds like this. That is a crazy thing to have over your fucking head. Like you literally changed how people rapped, why people rapped, how they listen to rap, like the rhyme structure. Like I don't think it was on purpose. You just doing the art, you saw the way to do it, but you're literally, and I hate, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but like you're literally Basquiat, you're literally Picasso, you're literally like something
Thank
used
you,
to be
man.
this way, and then it went this way, and here's why.
Yeah, we can see the point of inflection, and
When Eric B is president of my melody, they were like, what the I can imagine hearing that for the first time and be like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the hottest record the day you dropped like my melody? Like, what before that? What was the hottest record?
Do you remember?
That's a good question.
Like, is it like it wasn't?
It had to
Run
be
DMC?
It had to be. I was about to say it had to be running them. You know what I mean?
Like, when's Peter Piper? What year is Peter Piper?
86.
86.
I think 86. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hold up.
Wait, who else was around 86 before Rakim?
L.
80? Yeah,
LL.
so I was gonna say that the inflection point feels like LL, Run DMC, and you.
No, but Run DMC was out for a while though.
They were Run DMC deserves a lot of credit for changing rap too. But they were also part of the version before that.
Yeah. I mean, Run DMC comes from Curtis Blow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's in that.
Whereas Rakim, I consider to be only quote unquote modern. Like you were only modern, you know, even though my melody does sound super old school. Like one of the things that I always think stands out about Rakim so well, even more so than some of his contemporaries that I love, is that even though to some people you'd be the definition of old school, I think your records sound like if you walked into a party right now, 2025, it's early in the night and the DJ is playing Eric B. as president. Have irony to it. It's still just knocks. You know what I'm saying? There's no like, and like, even for example, say if you say like, I'm the king of rock, that whole style still feels like almost a different genre than we're in right now.
Yeah.
Rakim feels like the beginning of the new genre to some extent.
Oh wow.
But LL's there too. But remember, LL also had dropped right before that. So you know, it's a fascinating time. Like I'm trying to cite that was a really good question. What else was hot at that time? Was Children's Story wasn't out.
Like what did like who played? Was My Melody the first song ever, or was Eric B for President?
They came out at the same time. Side A, side B.
So
I think
did Marley play it first?
Teddy Special K and Teddy Ted actually.
Okay,
played it first.
But what did they? I want to know the 3 songs they played before they dropped my melody. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
wonder.
crazy. That's crazy.
And they were probably
But
like, "Oh,
yeah,
we got this record."
they was the first one to rock it, man. I think it was that Long Island station that they had, man.
Yep.
Word up.
BAI.
Word up.
What about South Bronx came out in 86?
Yeah.
But South Bronx, he was still kind of yelling.
It is. No,
LL
it's not
was
the
yelling.
Same. Yes. It's not the
You know what I
same
mean?
as
Like that was
Rakim
like the style, like a lot of energy. Like, and then this guy just wait. The rumor is you did My Melody on the couch. That's true.
Yeah, Marley crib.
You
At
sit on
Marley
the
crib,
couch.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna sit right here, God.
You know.
It
Word up.
works.
Hey yo, we got there. Marley had the studio, he made the studio in his living room. And as he was fixing up the beat and everything, he sat right there in the room on the couch and shit, chilling. And it was funny and shit, because once he finished, he just stood there, grabbed the mic, and handed me the mic. So I
Right.
grabbed the mic, sat up, track came on, I started rhyming.
You had the
Track played,
rhyme already?
yeah. The melody,
Not
the melody was written. I say most of the melody, like a year before that.
but not with that beat though.
Yeah, yeah. The melody was a beat that I made. I think I was in like 11th grade, 10th, 11th grade.
Oh, you made the My Melody beat.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Marley just cleaned it up and fixed it and
Facts.
made it able
You
for
know
you
what
to
I
rhyme.
mean?
Oh,
Now, when I made it at my man crib on a little Casio. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Back in the day, that's all we had. The little electronic keyboard. He had a nice little beat machine. It was actually one of my brother's homeboys. But yeah, I went to his crib one day. I was like, yo, I got this little idea, and I told somebody this a while back. I don't, I thought people kind of, figured it out. But the melody was basically rising to the top. I just changed a couple notes on it. Dun 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 dun.
It is that. Yeah.
You know what I
Oh, the
mean?
bass line.
Yeah, yeah.
Duh.
You know what I mean? I just altered it a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I
I
mean?
never even
And
heard that. It's much slower and like a different sound.
Well,
right,
it sounds like an old school Casio keyboard,
yeah, yeah.
feel.
Word
That's
up.
the funny thing is My Melody and Eric B. as President are so different because,
Right,
like you said, you made that off the keyboard. Then Marley really produced Eric B. as President, right?
right, right. Marley, Eric B. as president. Me and Eric just had the two songs that we wanted. We was at my mom's crib, mom's and pop's crib. I was digging through their records, and I pulled out Funky Drummer. I mean, Funky President James Brown. So Eric B. looking through, and he pulls out Fonda Ray. I
Mhm.
look at him like, what you gonna do with that? He was like, I'm gonna put this on that. I said, no, you ain't, man. You put Fonda Ray on James Brown, man. Shit ain't gonna work. He was like, yo, Rob, it's gonna work. So we sitting there arguing about this shit. So we just had the concept in our head. You know what I mean? Funky President beat, Fonda Ray over the bass line over the top. So we went to a couple producers to see if they can do the beat for us. And finally, Eric said, yo, we gonna go to Marley crib. When I met Eric B, that's how I met him. He said he knew Magic and Marley Marl. Rest in peace, Mr. Magic. And so finally he just said, yo, I'm gonna go to Marley and see if he can, do the beat over for us, man. And, you know, fortunately he did, and the
Came
rest was
out
history.
came out pretty good.
Came out all right.
Marley knew
Keyboard.
how to play keys, like how to.
Yeah, yeah.
I never
So what?
realized
So
that.
did he know who you were? Did Marley really know much about
I
you?
was I was just a kid from Long Island. He,
How old were you when you did that? 17, 18?
17, 18, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And Eric B. But he knew Eric. They had some relationship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Eric,
Just
Eric, I think Eric knew Magic a little more, but was cool with Marley. I guess he met Marley second. That's why I guess he hesitated to go to him, from the rip. But yeah, man, he dealt with both of them, and yeah, it was definitely for me, a little kid in Long Island, knowing who Marley was, listening to him on the radio, listening to MC Shan and all that. You know what I mean? Like on the train that day going there, I'm like, I'm going to Marley Marl crib. Didn't know
Yeah.
what to expect. Didn't know, you know what I mean? But I'm on the train, you know what I mean, by myself from Long Island, taking the train to Queensbridge. And yeah, man, crazy, a crazy, a crazy time, man. But the experience was, second to none, man.
And so
Also,
Marley
thinking back,
also,
nothing about the record says Eric B for president in the song. Like, it's nothing about him being president, right? Like, it's just fucking,
Word up. Hey,
it's just
yo,
dope.
the funny thing is, when I met Eric B, I was trying to go play football and was hesitant to tell him I wanted to make the record. But I had that tape with the melody on it. What was
Mm.
crazy, I said, yo, I know when I go to college, it's gonna be a lot of MCs in the hallway. You know what I mean? I'm trying to stay focused and do what I do. So I'm gonna put my rhymes on this tape right here. A cassette tape back in the day for my young listeners was this gadget that we used to record sounds and music on. You know what I mean?
that's
It was
right.
called a cassette tape.
Analog.
Anyway, I had the melody on there and a bunch of rhymes. And when Eric came to the crib, I played that for him. And it was crazy, how everything popped off. But I played that for him, and he said, "You don't have to sign a contract. It can be Eric B featuring Rakim." So I'm like, "Well, that sounds dope. I'll get a chance to do a record,
Mhm.
before I, get serious with this football thing,
Yeah.
and I could play football." So it was a no, lose situation for me.
Yeah.
Um, he came up right after that, after we did the joint. It was like his project at this point. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
You're just the MC
funky,
on his project.
yeah. You know what I mean? So the joint was Funky President, and he was like, Eric B is president. I'm like, whatever, man.
Wait, where were you gonna play
It's
football?
history.
Where were you gonna play
That
football?
was my thing. Like, yo, whatever, man. Let's just do this, and then I'm going to, see if I could throw this football, man, and
Right.
do what I always wanted to do, man.
Wait, did you have a scholarship or something? Were you gonna go to a certain school?
I actually had to end my my cousin, man, piece of my cousin. He played with the team before me and told the coach about me. Their quarterback was graduating, and my man put in a good word to the coach. He was like, "Yo, my little cousin played, Juan dance football. He got an arm," and coach was like, "Bring him up." So
Shit.
I was getting real serious, into training and getting ready for that, man, when I met Eric B. But
Wow.
it's funny because, when I look back, I'm about 5'9". I think, at the height of my, workout days, I think I weighed about 160. And that was like, eating all the Snickers and pieces and all the junk food I can eat. You know what I mean? Got up to about 160. And I look back at it, 5'9", 160, 170 pounds, man, quarterback. My career wouldn't have been too long, man.
Not
You
tough
know what I mean?
sledding. That's tough sledding.
Yeah,
5'9",
you know what I mean?
160.
Quarterbacks are 6'5", 230 pounds nowadays, man. So, I'm glad I kind of made the right decision, man. Word up.
I just find it so funny, Saif, that like Rakim went into making that record like, oh my God, I get to work with Marley Marl. And Marley probably looked at it as, I'm just gonna do someone a favor and see how this thing goes. Like
Facts.
he didn't have any like, oh, I'm making one of the most important
Yeah.
records of my career
No,
today.
he's
Like,
doing a
Word
favor for
up.
Eric B.
yeah, I'm gonna do a favor,
Facts.
or B.
Facts.
Now,
Yeah, I remember after a couple bars, us doing the first verse. We did the melody first, and I remember him saying, "Yo, it sounds all right. Yo, you want to stand up?" I looked at him. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't really. I said, I'm good. So he just looked at me and pressed record again. Beat came on, turn up the bass, check out my melody, boom, boom, boom. Played 2 verses, he stopped it again. He was like, yo, you don't think you should stand up? I was like, nah, I'm good.
It's the laid backness of it. That was
That's what makes it
something
work.
very different at the time.
Word up. And
It was
that's where
so different.
that was the
He's
thing
probably
that
like,
Marley he couldn't like. He was like, yo, just put a little more energy in it. And finally, like after the 3rd time, I said, Marley, I could stand up, but it's gonna sound the same way, man.
wait,
You know,
but did you
but that's
stand up
it.
for Eric B as
Nah.
president? Eric B for president?
Well, now I think the way the room was, I sat down too, man. You know what I mean? Sat right on the couch.
Sound the same
But
way.
word is born. But Eric B for president, the beat had a little more energy
Yeah.
in it, and I wrote it a little different. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
that was
Right. You
my
already
like,
had the rhyme for my melody. You
yeah.
wrote Eric B for president right there.
Yeah, well, actually, after we did the melody, we needed a B side. That's when we found the records and all that. But I took it as my introduction, to the game. So I wrote it with a little more energy. You know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah, man, I think I sat on the couch when we did that too. And what was funny? I seen I seen Marley Marl and Shan maybe a month after the record came out. We was both doing the show. I think somewhere in Jersey, man. So I remember pulling up and I seen Marley and Shan standing like at the back door. So we pulled up. I got out. I threw my hoodie on and just walked over to him and walked up on him. And I remember I looked at Marley and Marley looked. He was like, "Oh, yo, yo." He was like, "Yo, what's up, Ra?" He said, "Yo, I get it now." I looked at him. He was like, "Yo, I get it now." You know what I mean? And he was talking about the record and the
Yeah.
way I was rhyming, and you know what I mean? He was like, "I get it." You know what I mean? I said, "Yo, good luck, man." You know what I mean? Because that was one of the things that was kind of bothering me, man. Because I know who Marley was, and it's not that I didn't want to take his advice. It's just that that's who I was. You know what I mean? So
Nah, it's
yeah.
not
You know what I
bad
mean?
with him. It sounded so different at the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's you were literally innovating in that
Yeah.
moment because we were talking about like sort of the way that Rakim changed like lyrics, but you're right, style wise, that my melody moment that's never been done up
Yeah,
till
like
then.
it's
Right.
innovator's always gonna get resistance. Like what the
Even
fuck
even
is
L,
this?
even though I Need Love, for example, is a
Right.
smooth song, LL is still way more animated on it. When
Right.
I'm alone in my room, it's
Right.
still
Right.
a very animated record. It's not sitting down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's still like it's amazing to see when
And you could be
people
like, I don't know what this LL guy's doing, but the chicks are gonna love it.
Word up.
it,
Big up the L.
The
Big
chicks
up
are
I
the
gonna
know,
L,
love
man.
this.
it reminds me of like the Back to the Future scene. You know when he plays the Chuck Berry record when they do the whole thing, and he's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a lot for you, but your kids are gonna love it." Like like you were changing the game right in front of our eyes.
Mm.
What about this? Do you ever play this joint? Hold up. And then I want to ask you about this person because we haven't talked about him yet. Yeah. You ever play this little ditty?
If you was born in New York City, let me say you know that. I was born in New York City.
Primo.
New York. New York.
I think they used this in the movie The Boiler Room, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
It's a
Oh,
very
shit,
I
really?
think it's the opening credits. It's like a
Word
New
up.
York driving fucking awesome soundtrack. That's a great soundtrack song for New York. What was It's Been a Long Time was the first record
For that
that you
album,
guys did? That you guys did.
uh,
Yeah.
me and Primo.
Yeah.
No. I think the first joint we did was more when I be on the mic.
No, When I Be on the Mic came out later, unless you recorded it earlier. It's been a long time. The first one that came out. I know that.
That's that one you just played?
No, I just played New York.
That was New York.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Was the first one that came.
I remember when Preem sent me that track. I was bugging because, and yo, I felt dumb as hell after.
Which track? New York, or it's been a long time?
Been a long time.
Okay.
I remember after I got the track, I'm listening to it. I'm like, damn, this shit is fire, man. I'm like, yo, but why didn't he put the other half of the sample on? So my dumb ass, I called Primo. Yo, Preem, I love this shit, man. Hey, yo, but why didn't you put the other half? He was like, that's how I had to catch it, right? So I'm like, all right, you know how Primo sample. You don't question that. But I don't know, it was maybe a few months later, I'm going through some records in my crib, and I put the record on.
What's the record?
It's a joint called Call Me. And
by who, you know?
I forgot who made it.
Okay.
But what's crazy is I put the joint on. Now the Primo sample was boom, the record go call me, call me, call. You can't get around that call me.
Right.
Primo just took the shit out. But
is it the Al Green
I should
Call
have
Me?
known. Huh?
It's the Al Green Call Me or no?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Word up. Al Green. Word up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yo, I never put that together. I didn't
up.
even put that together, bro.
And you know what I mean? And that just confirm with me how dope Primo is, man. Because as a
Primo
producer,
is you. How dope we think you are with the rhymes is equivalent of how Primo is with the beats.
Word is bone, man. And like listening, a beat maker listening to songs, 99.9% of them would hear that record and be like, "Oh man, I can't touch it because the Call Me is too much." And we would have, put it to the
especially back then where it wasn't on like Pro Tools or a screen where you could. Now you could like cut it all into pieces. Back then it was all by ear.
Word up. Incredible, man.
It's also interesting too because as a result of that sample, it sounds different than any Primo record. Like it is clearly a Premier record because of the scratches, but Cypher, I wouldn't necessarily recognize it as Premier.
Play it again.
Besides the scratches,
no, the bounce is there.
The
Premier bounce is there. It's been a long time. Look, yo, Premier got a style. Like 80% of the beats are like Premier beats, and then he'll drop a beat that's a Premier beat, but it's like MOP.
Brownsville.
No, the other one that's like, is it? I was just listening to it the other
Rugged
day.
Never Smooth.
No.
Now I got the sample, the voice.
Boom, boom, bring, 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 boom, boom, bring. It got that weird noise.
Okay, yeah,
Not handle your business. Go for your guns. No.
Primo is.
Nah, he's a sicko. He's a sicko.
World is balls.
By the way, though, but Handle Your Business is a great example.
Handle Your Business is also a great.
Does not you'd be like, what?
Gotta find it.
You wouldn't recognize that as Premier necessarily. This.
You handle your business. Can't get your grip. Can I get a witness?
This is drum.
People, your dreams have now been for.
Yeah. The now. You wouldn't think that's Primo.
It's so it was slow but yeah. So what did you guys have a specific kind of process, or does he just play you different stuff? How does it work when you and Premier get together?
I remember going
Breaking
to the
the rules.
studio.
Sorry to cut you off, Ra.
Breaking the
Breaking
rules.
the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, how you work with him?
Yeah, man. I just remember going to the studio and Primo would throw some beats on. He would, cook something up that he, felt that I would like, man. But he would play like, a few beats and I guess according to my reaction, we kind of pick, what joints we was gonna do, man. But Primo's the type of producer. He play a beat like Primo might go, "Yo, Rod, just I made this. I just want to know, like, see how you felt about it." The joint come on, you like, "Come on, Primo, that's done." You know what I mean? So it's like hard to not like a Primo beat. So basically, anything Primo play for me is like, let's go. You know what I mean?
What was the Jay-Z record you did, The Watcher 2? That was in that same era of you being around Dre in
Yeah,
2000?
that was Dre around 202, something like that. Maybe
And
203.
were you and Jay together at all for it or no?
Nah, nah. Um, I remember Dre said, he had a project he was working on. Actually, I did the verse before Jay got on it. Jay heard it. Dre played it for Jay,
Oh shit!
and Jay got it from Dre, and
Wow.
that came
So it,
together. Yeah, so my verse was already done.
so it didn't start out as a Jay record. It just started out as a joint with Dre and Rakim.
Yeah, it was actually supposed to be. I think they was doing another Watcher movie, and Dre was doing the soundtrack. I think it started as that, and then it
Oh,
turned into a J joint.
there, there's not a lot of Rakim features, right?
There's not.
No.
Do a lot of people ask you to get on stuff and you say no a lot? Or back in the
Well,
day, did they?
well, yeah, back in the day, I was real selective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Just I was still on my street rules, man. You know what I mean? I didn't deal with too many people um for various reasons. And I kind of adopted all of that into the rap game. The same thing I learned in the street is how I was dealing with, things in the game. But the first joint I think was the Mob Deep joint.
The Hoodlum joint,
Yeah.
which was it. Yeah,
That
that's a random one that popped up. That
yeah.
Hoodlum joint.
What it was is the I was supposed to do the soundtrack for the Hoodlum movie.
Okay.
And the person that hollered at me to do it, I think she worked for the same label as Mobb Deep or worked for Mobb Deep. So after it was in the process, I think Mobb Deep found out about it and was bitter with them for not hollering. So they came to me and asked me, would I do a joint with Mobb Deep because of the confusion that was going on with, in they in-house. Um, at the time I ain't feel, you know, nothing, bad about it. It's a movie soundtrack, you know what I mean? A dope joint that I knew was gonna be dope. The Bumpy Johnson, um, story was, always in my ear. My mom and pop met Bumpy Johnson. They used to tell stories in the crib about that. But I knew
What?
the
That's
movie
crazy.
was gonna be dope. Yeah, my mom and pop, of course, my aunt Ruth, Ruth Brown. She used to perform at the Cotton Club and all that. So, they would be up in the Cotton Club chilling, and here come Bumpy. He'd buy my aunt Ruth champagne or wine or whatever. And being that moms and pops was always around, he he knew them too and shit. So, they would always, tell stories about, when they used to see Bumpy come up in the spot and how he moved and how people respected him. And but at the same time they would speak on how he was, such a respectful person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Ruth Brown was your aunt?
Nah, she was my mother's close friend,
Got
and
it.
you know we called her all her sons was my big
Cousins.
cousins,
Yeah.
and yeah, man.
Were your parents musicians?
My
Yeah.
mother sang everything from opera to jazz.
Oh
She was
yes, I did
she
hear that. Yes.
yeah, she performed at the Apollo. Um,
Wow.
my pops just had a good ear. Like he knew good music, man. Like, he would bring certain albums home and things of that nature. He was responsible for the big collection that I stole a lot of beats from.
Yeah.
But he
Um,
didn't play. Your dad didn't play. He just loved it.
nah, nah.
I
Um,
knew Bumpy
did you
Knuckles? That's crazy.
Bumpy Johnson, not Bumpy
I mean
Knuckles.
Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy
Love,
Knuckles.
but I love Bumpy Knuckles.
Maybe they know Bumpy Knuckles too.
By the way, I've been Rakim's known Bumpy Knuckles forever. Also, but you were happy with how the Hoodlum joint came out, and I imagine as time went on, you were a Prodigy fan and a Mobb Deep fan.
No doubt, man. And things happen for a reason, man. You know what I mean? I'm glad that, that came up. I got respect for them and what they brought to the game, man. Word up, man. And big up Big Paul just dropped the album not too long ago too, man. I want to see
Yeah.
more, of the artists that's been doing it for a while that deserve to still do it. You know what I mean? Get that
Yeah,
shine, man.
this whole Mass Appeal Nas Legend Has It series has
Mm,
been fucking phenomenal. And
word
I'm
up.
just counting the days to this Nas premiere album.
Friday.
I'm
Oh,
too
yeah.
excited, bro.
That's gonna be dope, man. I'm looking forward to that. I spoke, I speak to Nas, a lot, and I spoke to Preem not too long ago, man. And this, I think the culture, man, needs it and wants it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, the
two,
love.
yeah, man,
The
two
love the
artists
De
that
La
that
album
we
is
love.
getting.
Yeah,
The love,
yeah,
the Mobb Deep album, the Ghostface, like
yeah,
it's
man.
Big L. I
Yes, sir.
spoke to Primo the other day. I was watching, he's on tour with Alchemist in Europe,
Mm,
and I got so like FOMO, bro. Like I was watching the videos and I started looking up flights. Like, how can I go to Europe and I just want to be in the room.
yeah, man. The beats,
My
I can
schedule's not
imagine.
working out, man. I just want to go.
Imagine.
It's just pure hip hop. The way Premier just be handling them turntables.
How much were you dropping at Dapper Dan's in these days?
Hey, yo, what was crazy, man, is like the first couple suits we got from Dap, we paid good money for. And after that, Dap was throwing us shit, man. You know what I mean? People was coming from Detroit, Chicago, Cali, Houston, all over the world after, they seen, that
From
paid in
the
full
from the
joint.
album cover.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So Dap
Wow.
just showing us love like, yo, man, people is popping up saying they want that Eric B in Rakim, or give us, or we seen what you did for. So he used to just hook us up at that point. I remember one time years later, I was on 8th Avenue about to approach up towards like 42nd Street. I was going to up towards Burt Badell's office by 57th Street, and
Were you by yourself?
yeah, you already.
You know the vibes. You already know the vibes. Of course
You
he was.
already.
Times
Word
Square
up.
by himself, Dolo.
You know what I mean? So I'm driving, and the car pulls up next to me and starts honking. So New York traffic, But I look over and I realize it's Dap. Dap like, yo, pull over, pull over. So I pull over. We get out. I see Dap. Give him a pound and a hug. He pops the trunk, and he got sweatsuits back there, man. Every extra large he had in the trunk, he gave to me. So I'm like, that, man. And we right on the side of, 8th Avenue. I'm like, that, what's going on? He was like, yo, here, man, just take this shit. Take this shit, man. He was like, yo, man, that's just showing love, man, for all the love that you brought,
Wow.
to his business, man. And, it's that
I'm
Dap
sorry.
is the man.
I'm
Dap
sorry.
is
Wow.
Extra large.
yeah, man.
So
Come
you
on,
love
let's
the,
rock
you like
it.
the baggy. You had a baggy.
Yes, Rakim Allah, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yo,
I mean,
but that's a beautiful thing, man, because you know, a few others, but no one did more for the Dap brand than you. I mean, you guys really were. That was it.
That word up, man.
I mean, that was it.
And Dap showed that love back, man. You know, he kind of,
That's so
you
cool.
know,
But
he
he
knew
did
we
the paid
contributed
in
a lot to that.
he did the paid in full outfits.
Follow the
And
leader
then
outfits, right?
Yeah. Word up.
follow. So he put the 5% thing on the jacket.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Word up. Hey, yo, I remember Dap came to me before they put it on. He was like, Rob, just wanted, you know, you to check it before we put it on. He said, you know what I mean? I made sure they researched everything and made sure the shadow was right and boom, boom, boom. And I was like, yo,
Wow.
Dap, good looking out. Cause you know how that is. You can't, you know, and you know, I was a little hesitant at first for putting it on the jacket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah. I used
you
to
know,
wear the pin.
yeah,
Just a pin, and I would get questioned all the time.
yeah, man. Word
They would
up.
run up on you. What's today's math? What's how you see today's lessons and all that? I was like, "Eesh, I hope I get this right.
Yeah, yeah, yo, back in the day, man, when I was newborn, the universal beating was high on everybody's. You know what I mean? You ain't know your math. You know,
Bro,
God
I
will
was in a
smack this.
club.
You know what
I
I
was in a
mean?
club. I was in the Fever, the newer Fever, not the old school one. The newer Fever. Doo-Wop was DJing, and I had my 5% a pin. And this guy ran up in the bathroom. He said, "Yo, what's today's math? What's today's lessons?" And I got it wrong. And he looked like he was gonna beat me up. And I outsmarted him. I said, "Listen, bro, listen. I'm learning. Isn't it your job as a poor righteous teacher to teach
That's
me the
right.
lesson?" Like I
That's
said,
right.
"Why you gonna beat me up in the bathroom with a fever? Help
That's
me
right.
understand why."
Word
Yeah.
is born, and that's the perfect way you supposed to handle that. Because in all actuality, he's responsible for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Our job is to teach the babies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you
But
know what I mean? That's the best thing you could have
I
said.
think
That the,
what saved me was that it was one on one.
mm,
Because if there
right,
was a couple of them,
nobody around to gas
the
it
peer
up.
pressure might have been like, "Nah, we gotta handle this. You can't wear that pin
Yeah,
if you don't got the lessons." That
facts.
wasn't that wrong. Wasn't that a
You're
little bit
close.
off?
You're close.
Um, but yeah, bro, I like, and mind you, Rob, we don't want to just sit here and talk about all these old stories, not thinking you're not relevant today, but you have to understand like the whole purpose of this show, and me and Rosenberg just being fans, the oral history of this stuff was not documented back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every little tidbit, if you put all our episodes together one day, there's so many gems. Yeah, everybody knows the stories that the newspapers wrote or the magazines wrote, but like nobody ever heard Alpo had many ninjas outside the rooftop.
88, man.
No, and I just me just
88.
picturing
Dapper Dan on
Rakim and
40
Just
Deuce.
Ice, Rakim and Just Ice with a table. So Just Ice was one of the few that you would hang out with.
Yes, sir. Yo, just fit right in. I remember. I think we was at the quarters. I think when I met Just. Just was across the room, and you know, or you hear, yo, Rob, yo, Rob. Look up, it's Just, yo, Rob, yo, I'm coming over there. Just, yo, I used to call him the fire alarm. I don't care if you standing right next to just loud as hell, man. You know what I mean? But just like fit right in, man, from day one.
By the way, that's
From,
hilarious.
from day one, man, he just fit right in, man. Me and my brother loved him. My brother Stevie Blast. And
Yo, you
I
know why that's
remember
perfect? Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. You remember what?
now I was just gonna say I remember Just used to always come through. Yo, Ryan, I got the lamb spread. I got the lamb. But yeah, man, just energy was always, good energy. Didn't care. And just him all the time. You know what I mean? Like Flavor Flav, man. Never change. Same energy every time you see
Yeah.
him, and it just make you feel good.
You talked to Just Ice at all?
I haven't spoke to Just in a few years, man. In a few years, but whenever
Syph,
I
we need
see
to track him
Just,
down.
Word up, man. Whenever I see
Who's
justice,
your
the
brother?
same thing.
What does your brother do? He was a big part of your career.
Yeah, he was somebody that I would take anywhere with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know what your brother gonna do. You know what I mean? So
How
you
old?
know,
How much older was he?
my brother's 7 years older than me.
Oh, 7 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, word up. But yeah,
Rosenberg, that's
like
the God number.
Thank
you
you.
heard.
Thank
Yeah, what's crazy? Me and all three of my brothers are 7 years apart.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, word up.
It's
You're the
commitment to-
youngest.
Yeah,
Wow.
So 7 years. I mean, the firstborn, they would wait 7 years. Another one, 7 years. Another one.
word
That's
up.
such
Well,
an interesting gap.
I got two sisters in between.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
Both
okay,
of the
okay, okay.
brothers. You know what I mean?
Got it,
The
got it.
brothers are 7
Word
years
up.
apart. Got it, got it.
Yes,
And
sir.
the sisters are in between that.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Rakim, we're gonna see you on Wednesday.
Hey, yo, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. And thank you, brothers, man, for the welcome, Matt. Hey, yo, y'all keep up the good work, man. We need this hip hop thing, man, put into its proper perspective, man. And it's
Yeah,
people like y'all that make sure that happens,
man, we
man.
appreciate
So,
that, bro.
yes, sir.
We there's a lot of hip hop podcasts, a lot of hip hop interview shows, and there's a lot of just talking about a lot of negative stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Hi, I want to talk about the music.
Word. Let's not forget.
I love hip hop music.
Yes, sir.
And bro, I'm telling you this, Rakim, from the bottom of my heart. If you need me ever for anything, and I mean anything, you need me to
Thank you,
get a
man.
pickup truck and go with you to Lowe's.
We'll go pick up a
Hey,
bag of
yo,
weed for you. We'll do whatever.
I'll hold both of y'all to that, man, because that's what I do a lot. Lowe's
Bro.
and weed pickups.
And a bag
you
of
heard?
weed. That's what you need. We got you. Say less.
Bro, I will be there with excitement and I'll be ecstatic. Anything you ever need, bro. Well, everything you gave to me, you know, even my name Cipha comes from you and a couple other cats. Like I owe my life to you and my career, and I never forget that. And you need me to drive you to the airport? Just let me know, bro.
Easy.
Hey, man. Appreciate that, man. From the
Bro, I
heart,
love
my
you, bro.
brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I
Love
hope
y'all too, man.
Syph, I hope he asks you for a ride back to where he's going after SOBs on Wednesday. That's what I hope that happens.
Well, this ball, man. Then I can get my drink on, Syph. You heard?
Yeah,
I need a
exactly.
ride back.
Bro, I don't drink. I don't drink or
Perfect.
nothing, so
Oh, yeah,
I'm designated
perfect.
driver.
Perfect, man.
Nah, Rob, well, let's do this again soon, man. It means the world.
Hey, thanks, Pete, man. Pete, Syph, man. Love y'all, man.
Bro,
One love, man.
thank
See
you,
y'all
man.
in a week,
Appreciate
man.
you.